Welcome to the Hank Cisco Show, ladies and gentlemen. Don't touch that remote. Got a great show here today. Today is something that's very helpful for everybody. It's something that you're in conversation and you'll hear, my aunt, my grandmom, or so, Alzheimer's, So it's something that's here. We all talk about it. There's no cure that I know, but I have a doctor here that's going to explain what's going on, what's on the front burner, what's on the back burner, and I am very much involved in this because my wife, Dolores, had Alzheimer's for going on 10 years, but very gradual, very easy. First time it happened, she's driving a car, going to the doctor, making an appointment, and she turned left instead of right and wind up in Ambler. I got a call from the police department. Says, Hank, we have your wife over here, and she's don't know where she is. So that was the beginning. Then there was just one thing after another, answering the phone, and then a lot of personal things. So I had to get help, and I had to do a lot of things. I didn't realize where to go. And that's the problem today. A lot of people don't know where to go. And that's almost in most of the problems. People don't know where to go. Veterans don't know where to go. So I have someone here who can tell you where to go and what to do and help you out. So I'm doing enough talking. Now here's my man, Dr. Verghese. Okay.
Hi, Hank.
Now, tell me something about yourself, and then we'll go into a couple of questions here because I can't pronounce all these fancy names here. Okay? So,
Well,
tell me, you are with
yep. Thank you for
Keystone?
correct. I'm with Keystone Clinical Studies, and we are based out of Norristown, Audubon. What we do is we help to develop new medicines to treat various brain conditions like Alzheimer's disease, depression, etc. First of all, thank you for having me here. It's a great pleasure. You've been a great friend and supporter.
Oh my God, yeah. You're
And
a great friend.
I've been honored to work with you and your family, especially your wife Dolores. I feel terrible that I was not able to help Dolores as much as I would want to.
Well, you did a lot. You helped me to be able to, what to do,
Correct.
because I don't know. I said, well, she didn't answer the phone. I said, well, who called? I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? I couldn't realize what was going on.
What is going on?
Okay?
My own mother has Alzheimer's disease and is in a nursing home right now. And both with my mom and with Dolores, it was too late by the time we found out. So the good news is that now we have medicines that might help if we can find out early enough that the person is having memory problems and is starting to slip, like you mentioned with Dolores.
I want to go into the scientific things, okay?
Sure.
So, I've got some questions here, and I'm going to have you ask the question from the audience that sent these in, okay? Now, number one, read this
Sure.
question and tell me what the situation is.
So the first question that I get from people when I go and teach and lecture in the community is, what's the difference between dementia and Alzheimer's disease?
Okay, dementia. What's dementia,
Correct.
Okay?
Dementia is a term that means brain failure. If we can have slide number 2, please. Dementia means brain failure. There could be any number of things that cause dementia. People on the football field who get hit in the head, they get dementia. You get punched in boxing.
Now football, they're starting to look at that now,
Correct.
right? And they take them off the field and take them in the dressing room.
Correct.
That's what they do. Put some cold packs on their head and then bring them back again.
A lot more than that.
Wind up mezzo stonato,
Stonato, yeah.
In Italian, it means stonato. You get hit with too many punches.
Well, boxers can get a kind of dementia from getting punched too much. But
Well, I'm a
Alzheimer's,
former boxer,
well, you're holding up good.
I get the hell out. I get out before I got too beat up,
Correct. Now, so dementia means brain failure,
Okay.
when your brain stops to work. Alzheimer's disease is the most common cause of dementia, and it starts typically in your 60s and 70s. So Alzheimer's is a disease that causes your brain to fail. In the other cases, it's getting hit on the head or if you have a surgical accident and things like that. So Alzheimer's is a disease process that causes your brain to fail.
Yeah. What's the second question now?
Okay, so the other question that people have is, what's the difference between normal forgetfulness? If we could have slide number 3, please. What's the difference between just forgetfulness when you get old? We all start to get a little forgetful.
Yeah, well, I don't want to panic now, like I forget, like this morning, I dreamed I was awake. When I woke up, I was asleep. I don't want to get confused there. But no, that's the thing. We don't want people to panic just because they, well, I'm starting to forget.
Right. So let me tell you a joke on that. So these two guys are sitting in the senior center, and one guy turns to the other and says, "What's the name of that flower we give people on Valentine's Day? The one with the thorns?" So the other guy says, "Rose?" He says, "Yes, Rose." So he turns to his wife and says, "Come on, Rose, it's time to go."
All right, so
Now
that's remembered.
So normally, as we get older, we tend to forget a few things, like names of people, who was a film star in such and such movie, and it pretty much stays the same over the years. In Alzheimer's disease, that gets worse and worse and worse, and people have difficulty in going about their lives. Like with Dolores, she lost her way, right?
I can't figure out now. Dolores, she was a singer, and she sang in a nightclub. She could sing songs and remember all the words. I mean, and then she should knit, crossword puzzles and write letters. Oh my God, she would write letters like she was a congressman or something. Not that all congressmen write letters. They don't know what's going on. They get the secretary does the work.
That's a very good point. And what happens in Alzheimer's disease is that people forget recent things.
Yeah.
And things that you knew from before, people can remember. Like I went to see my mother the other day. She can't remember the names of my children, but she can sing all the songs, the hymns she learned in church way back.
Yeah.
So old memories stay till the end. It's the new memories that get lost. So let me talk about this condition called mild cognitive impairment, or MCI, and that's on slide 3. Mild cognitive impairment is the earliest sign of Alzheimer's disease, MCI. And typically my patients will come and their spouses will say, "He keeps asking the same question again and again."
Yeah.
Or he'll keep telling the same story again. And he forgets that he had just told the story.
Yeah.
So they'll keep asking, "When are we going for dinner?" 10 minutes later, "When are we going for dinner?"
Yeah. What time is it?
What time is it?
Yeah.
Right. Or if they know they have to go somewhere, like a doctor's appointment or see their grandchild, they'll keep saying, "Is it today?" "Yes, honey, it's today." "What time is it?" 6:30. So the short-term memory, the new things that you learn go out first. It's like getting a job. Last in, first out, right?
Well, talking about memory, I mean, I got to remember when I went to junior high school, they had the play, the minstrel, the play, and I had a part. And all I had to do was go out and say, "Hello, everybody." I was so nervous. I went out, hello, hello, and,
You nervous?
So I was nervous, yeah, right? So how does these actors, movie actors and singers and the opera singers, and I happened to meet Andre Pacelli the other day, and he sang without no script or anything, just word after word, Italian words, How did they do that? And it stays there. And I couldn't even remember one line, and yet is that a talent? Is that something that?
Well, it's a skill that some people have that they build on. Now, you've been running the show for 27 years.
Yeah.
Right? I would wonder, how does he do it? But it's your talent.
You got to be a little
so
stonado to do it too,
Like for me, I remember patients' histories. Like I get a new patient and I'll remember, "Oh, how's your son doing in school? I've not seen him for 5 years."
Yeah.
So that's part of the human brain. We're able to develop things. But let's come back to
Go ahead.
mild cognitive impairment. It's very important that people out there recognize this thing called mild cognitive impairment. When a family member or someone you care about starts to forget recent events. Somebody comes yesterday and today you have no memory of it. I spoke to a nun from Sisters of St. Joseph. She said she watched the debates and she had no recall who was talking, what was going on. So you can go through an experience but not remember it. So that is the first sign of Alzheimer's disease. And it's very important that we jump on it, because if we can catch it at that stage, we can
You can do something.
we can keep it from going down. So
Well, I think when I remember I was with some friends, and I told them that my wife was going meeting with you with Keystone Clinical Studies, and they start asking questions, but they don't want to say anything because it's embarrassing that maybe their wife or aunt or grandmom is losing out or something. And in a roundabout way, well, who is this? What's the doctor's name? I said, look, you got a problem? Tell me. Hey, here's a doctor. Go check it out. It's like my brother had a tap room over in Flowertown. He had a waitress. He couldn't hear too good. So he went to the doctor. The doctor says, well, your hearing is, as you get older, you lose your hearing. So, all right. So then my brother says, look, if you can't hear the orders, I'm going to have to fire you. So send him another doctor to find out the doctor had some wax there. Took the wax out, she could hear good. So you have to make sure you check.
correct.
When in doubt, check it out.
There you go. And in a sense, we're looking to take out the wax from the brain in a way. And let me get to that a little bit. If we can look at slide number 4, it talks about what happens in MCI, or the early stage of Alzheimer's disease. First of all, the people themselves tell you that I can't remember as good as before. Things take me longer. I have an engineer who could do all the math problems in his head. Now he has to use a calculator, and he asks other people to check his work. So he himself knows that his brain is not as sharp as it used to be. But in this early stage, people can still continue to function. If you look at them from the outside, they look normal. But internally, they know that they're forgetting more and more and more. And it helps to have people around, like often it's not the person themselves, it's the family members who will say, honey, you've been getting forgetful. Honey, you've been asking the same question again and again. So that's when we need to jump on it and see whether we can do something.
All right, go ahead.
So let's look at what happens in the brain. If we can look at slide number 5, that actually shows the difference between the normal brain
On the side, right?
and the Alzheimer's brain. On the left side, it says healthy brain, and on the right side, you'll see the brain has shrunk quite a bit.
Come down a little bit.
Yep.
All right.
And what happens is that the cells in the brain start to die. And so there's nothing in there in the computer to generate the signals. Everything in our brain is stored in little tiny cells, like a computer's hard drive.
Yeah.
So the hard drive starts to get corrupted.
Well, I just saw an advertisement that says that you eat salmon fish, it's good for the brain. So now everybody's buying salmon fish. And then I remember when I was with the district attorney's office, I was in a school, FBI school, and they said that you eat zinc pills, and it helps your memory. And on the break, everybody went to the drugstore to get the zinc. They were taking tests, So.
I know.
Zinc, I don't know. I think it's still good. Pasta fazool, meatballs and spaghetti and ravioli. That is good for everything.
And
it's good for Alzheimer's. It's good for cancer. Good for everything. At least you go and happy, And when you go to lift that there, you get them pulbers. Don't get a hernia lifting up the thing. Go ahead.
And some good red wine, maybe.
Right. Oh, yeah, that's it. It don't have to be homemade either. Go ahead.
If you look at slide 6, in slide 6, we're looking at what the brain looks like under a microscope. And the little rectangular things, or the pentagonal things, are the brain cells. And there is this fuzzy stuff that collects between the brain. Just like there's wax collecting in the ear, there's a stuff that collects in the brain. And it's an abnormal protein called amyloid. And that stuff is actually poisonous. It's toxic to the brain.
So
it strangles the brain.
Pollutes that area.
Exactly. it strangles the brain. In the bottom right, it shows the normal structure, and here in the main slide itself, it shows the amyloid collecting in the brain. Let me give you an example. With heart disease, you had some difficulties with your heart.
I had, the heart operation was 95% blockage.
Correct. That blockage is what causes the heart to get suffocated, correct? Similarly,
I was only hitting on a couple cylinders then, right?
yep,
I don't remember making any bad decisions. I don't know. It was good though. I mean, the doctor operated. He says that I was 91 when when they operated, and then afterwards he says, you come through this operation like a man when 45 years of age. Mm-hmm. So.
You're a tough man.
Well, I don't know. Just keep bobbing and weaving. That's all. Somebody up there likes me. Go ahead.
We are looking for ways to prevent this stuff from collecting in the brain. Just like, we want to clear out the cholesterol from the heart.
Yeah.
We want to clear out this amyloid stuff from the brain.
Like if you got a mucus here and you got a cold, you're coughing and coughing and coughing.
Correct.
That's what it reminds me of a little bit.
Right. You want to clear out all the gunk that builds up so that the engine can work, right?
Right. That's right.
One of the things that people wonder about is, I went to my family doctor and he gave me a medicine called Aricept. There are some medicines that are out there.
Dolores was on
Dolores was on that, correct. The problem with the medicines we have today is that they don't prevent the downslide. In Alzheimer's, you keep going down. You forget your memory, you get lost, you forget how to dress, you forget how to eat, you forget how to take care of yourself, go to the bathroom. You keep going down.
Yeah.
The medicines we have today help for a little bit, but don't prevent the downslide.
Don't slow it down.
Don't slow it down. So we are looking for medicines that slow down that progression.
And that's what Keystone Clinical Trials is all about.
Correct. We are looking for medicines that will help to slow down the process or even reverse it if we can get it early enough. So what do these medicines do? Let me look at slide 8. It's a complicated slide. This looks at the amyloid, the stuff that collects in the brain. They looked at how much there was in the spinal fluid. The brain has this fluid around it, and you can collect it from the back with a spinal tap. So they looked at how much of this gunk is there in the brain.
Yeah.
It's like if you have an engine and you check the engine oil, right?
Right.
If it gets really dirty,
level.
you have to change it, correct?
Right.
If it's nice and clear, it's good.
Yeah.
You've got another 2,000 miles. Just like that, we collect the brain fluid from the back, and you can check it to see what kind of junk there is.
See if it's not polluted.
Correct, exactly. So this slide is looking at the brain's engine oil, which is spinal fluid, and they gave people this new medicine that we have, and there were 3 groups of people who got the medicine. The top line in the slide is people who got no medicine. They got a dummy pill. And the middle and the bottom lines, they're looking at people who got the actual medicine. And this is looking at the amount of pollutant in the fluid, the amyloid. And what they showed is that the medicine can reduce the pollutant in the spinal fluid.
Cleared it up a little bit.
Cleared it up by 80%.
That's a movement.
It's tremendous.
Right.
It's tremendous. And when I first saw this data, I was at an international conference.
Yeah.
My jaw dropped.
You travel quite a bit. What are some of the countries that you travel to on these? It's like, I think that you're this type of I don't know if you want to call it investigation or whatever. Different countries add what they knowledge,
Absolutely.
right? In other words,
Absolutely.
it's sort of a global thing. You get an idea over here and put it over there. So you're not doing everything right here in the United States.
You absolutely got it. I'm amazed at your grasp of things. Yes, this is a global collaborative effort. People from all over the world come to these meetings. We have the international conference, and people from Australia, from Europe, from South America, Japan. We all come together and we share knowledge to help each other.
Right, that's important, and eventually I think it'll come up with something.
Yep, we have this medicine that we are working with in clinical trials. It is still in testing, and from some of the patients that I've been working with, it seems like it's helping them to stay there.
Right.
And some are going down, but some are staying at that same level. The ones who are going down may be on the placebo or the dummy pill.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of promise in this medication.
Now, Keystone.
Clinical studies.
Now, when I went to see you with Dolores, and tell me the first thing you did, and what a visit, what you do at a visit, or what I don't
Very
use
good.
the word constitutes,
Very
whatever.
good. It's a consultation.
Okay,
like
consultation. Then you evaluate. Then we got certain medicines, and then you take her blood pressure, that's it, boom, right? And then we got $50.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good. Get $50 to go there, and you're helping science, right? And tell me what the
Thank
story
you.
is on
That's
that.
a very good question. Now let's go back. When you and Dolores came, that was about 8 years ago.
Yeah.
In 2007 or 8, I think.
Yeah.
And the field has moved a lot from there. The medicines we are testing today, we did not have then.
Oh,
so we have
okay.
gone many levels beyond that.
Yeah.
So if somebody comes to my office, like just this morning, I had a lady, she used to be a nurse, just forgetting. She'll run out of the house without the house key.
Wow, yeah. Yeah.
She told me she had 4 appointments to see the veterinarian for her cat. Each time she forgot. She'd put reminders on her phone and still forgot.
Yeah.
So they come to my office, and I do a full medical and neurological examination, So then we test them. We ask them to remember certain numbers and stuff, and remember figures and things. We test to see how much they can remember.
Yeah.
Then we get some blood work to make
Right,
sure
yeah,
that
they
they're
did that with Dolores, yeah.
healthy. And before all of this, there's something called consenting. They have to give their consent to
yeah.
be in the study.
Well, you're there, you're helping yourself, and you're helping humanity.
Correct. But they need to sign and agree
Oh, yeah.
that they're okay for this. So we tell them what the study is about.
Yeah.
So they come, we get the physical exam, we get the blood work, we do the testing. Then they go to Mercy Suburban to get a very specialized MRI of the brain.
That's on DeKalb Street.
Correct.
Yeah.
Then the next step is, that stuff I talked about, the amyloid that collects in the brain?
Right.
There's a very specialized test. It's called a PET scan. And there's very few places in the country that do it. We have a place in Willow Grove where they get that PET scan. Now that thing costs $3,500, the test. But they don't have to pay it because the company, no, the company that's sponsoring the study.
Oh, okay, it's just like a study.
Correct. So they pay for the test. Then they start the medicine, and we see them on regular intervals to see if they're doing well, are they having any side effects, and we keep testing their memory to see, is it staying there or getting worse?
Yeah. Well, I think that when somebody has a problem, they should contact someone to get help.
Correct.
Okay. So your company, you call it a company?
Yeah.
Right. Is available, and it don't cost any money. And then when you go there, you're getting the medicine, you're getting the treatment, you're getting and also you're getting paid for your troubles, for your
Right.
transportation and everything else.
Absolutely. Let me expand on that a little bit. So when people come, they need to come with somebody called a caregiver. So the
Yeah.
patient and the caregiver. So you were the caregiver for Dolores.
Yeah.
Because if you have somebody with memory problems and you say, here, take this medicine, they may or may not take it, right?
Yeah.
So you remember, as the caregiver, you were
Yeah.
giving
Oh, yeah.
the pills
Yeah.
to Dolores.
Well, I had, but a little, like I say, I should write it down how each level, you forget this, you forgot that, she couldn't do this, she couldn't do that, I couldn't do no more cooking.
Correct.
And then wind up, she couldn't even do her own eating. I had to
Yep,
feed her
correct.
until I got some help from different agencies, But the most important thing is to check. Now, your company, you are the person to make a contact.
Correct.
And if you don't know, you'll send them to where they need.
Right.
Right.
So absolutely. So talking about the money part of it, so the patient gets $75.
75, we don't get a raise?
We got a raise.
Oh my God, I was getting 50. Oh, go on, go on.
That was 8 years ago.
All right.
And the caregiver
Glad to
gets
hear that.
the caregiver gets $75.
Oh yeah.
And no, sorry, 50. I'm sorry. I'm
50.
$50 each, and there's $50 for transportation. So if they, for their gasoline, or if they need to take a
When I
cab.
start forgetting I'm coming over there.
There you go. You are too good.
yeah.
So yeah, and I will do an evaluation, and we talk to the family doctor. We write a letter to the family doctor
Yeah.
and say, hey, look, Mr. Smith has come here and he's starting to forget.
Got
This is
30
what we're doing."
seconds.
Okay.
Wrap it up. Tell me what to do.
So Alzheimer's is a terrible thing to have, but there is good news. There are medicines that can help to prevent the downslide. And even if you have Alzheimer's, there are medicines that can help you get better. So call the number on the screen at Keystone Clinical Studies, and together we're going to link
Right.
and beat this.
Dr. Verghese. How I remember it's Dr. Geese. Verghese. I say, all right, I want to wrap this up, and I just got a little notice here. I just want to wrap the show up with a little notice here that on May the 21st, Einstein Hospital, we're going to have a walk for cancer, and I'm involved with it, and we're going to advertise. We'll have one of the doctors here talk about it at a later show. And also, I'm going to have in a later show 2 movie stars, actors that have some active movies coming up, and they will be here in person, and we'll be interviewing them. And the other day, I stopped over at Valley Forge and the chapel, and I visit the cemetery. I'm back at the chapel, and I visit the gift shop in the back. And they're having a grand opening. The gift shop is going to have it on Sundays and Mondays, and you're going to have a tea party. You'll have food and everything. So go to the little gift shop at Valley Forge behind the chapel. And one other thing. I was there visiting the lady in charge there. She's the manager, Denise. Mm-hmm. And let me tell you, I had to go to the bathroom, and I said, you got a bathroom? Yeah, I had to get the key. Let me tell you, Valley Forge Park has the cleanest and most sanitary toilets in the United States. I'm telling you, that tile is and everything. So if you're going to go visit Valley Forge, go visit the toilets over there. They're really nice and clean. Okay, that's a good way to end the show, but Doctor, thank you Dr. Verghese, thank you so much for coming on here. And let's have a little thing for Allah Zalud, means to your health.
To your health.
To your health.
And beating Alzheimer's.
And beating Alzheimer's all the way. Alabanza to the head, to the news, right. And give him an Irish left hook. Actors coming on the show. So, Comcast, 28. Verizon, 45. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 5 o'clock. Okay. Grazie. And to my Hispanic friends, adios amigos. My Italian friends, e gumbari. Thank you. All right.